All right, second step of the center console is making the top, what's going to hold it all together. So we started off with just 18 gauge sheet metal, ready to go. Cut it at the width that we want, and then I have been shaping it to fit the side frame. So I have one more bend to make. Let's go make that real quick, and then we'll see how things fit. So basically all I do make a line where I would like to bend it. Up to 90 degrees. And there we go. Let's go see how it fits. So on the side and the vise, what I want to do is put it together. So I've already done a little bit of pre-fitting. And all you do is you drill a hole into your base frame, and you attach the top. If you're going to do any metal fabrication, get some of these. They're awesome.
So you said get some of these. What are these?
They have a name that
You can't remember?
I can't remember. But I can look it up real quick because I just bought another 50 of them. Because when we do the Bronco, when we put that together, we have a lot to do for fabrication, and putting it together like this is going to be the easiest way. So, Cleco fasteners, C-L-E-C-O fasteners. They have different sizes. I buy the 1/8, at least that's what I bought this time, was the 1/8, because they seem to have a decent amount of strength for holding, and you don't have to drill a huge hole to make it work. So we have one side attached. Basically how these work is has special pliers, shoots out the grabbers, the thing that create the friction. These are 1/8 inch, so they go right through an 1/8 inch hole perfectly, and then when you bring it back, this gets wider and it pinches everything into place. basically what you do is you line your metal up to where you want to put a holder in. These are 1/8 inch. Just take an 1/8 inch drill bit, drill a hole through, and line it back up and hold it in place. So we have the center console built. That, as everybody knows, started off as just a piece of cardboard. So start with a clean template. The closer you get this, the more time you take with this, the easier this is going to go, and the easier it's going to fit into your truck or car. But simple, smooth. This was under the dash. We have it covered so stuff doesn't fall down behind. The sides obviously still need to go on. This is just the transition from underneath the air conditioner vents down to 2 cup holders. And in this area is where the seat will slide back and forth. So when it's all the way forward, it's going to be right up to here. When the seat's all the way back, you'll see this part here. Thinking about putting a change holder in here or something, but anyway, long and short, this is the start. We'll tack weld this stuff together and then check the fit. Taking you to the next step of the center console. You saw that it had everything fit and finished to the cardboard, which was our original template. Now before I build the bottom of it, what do you have to do? You have to check it out, make sure it works, make sure it flows, make sure it has everything that you want going for it inside of the truck that was in your imagination. So we put it in. Let me show it to you. So it drops down right from underneath the air conditioner vents and the heat vents. Comes down. It's not quite centered. We have to move it over to the driver's side a little bit, although the vents actually aren't centered. Come down, you'll have your 2 cup holders. Now that shelf right there, that's going to be totally visible when the truck's all the way back. So I figure that's a good place to set your cell phone when it's charging. I think we're going to put right here a phone charger port. So it's not going to be, it's not going to look out in the open. It's going to be hidden somewhat, but you can charge up your phone. But you can see now the side view too of what we built and what we templated out. So it goes right up underneath the dash, nice and snug. I actually might end up dropping on this side 1/4 inch to give us a little bit more clearance on the top there. Be easier getting the dash or the console in and out. Right now it's snug, which is what you want it to be, but it might be a little too snug once we get the materials on there. But it's going to have a nice flow to it. Good place to put your cups. It's going to be in red, more than likely, just like the seat. After everything is in, I'll take a look at that. Take a look at the carpet. That's going to be black. The red next to the black might be a good mix. Okay, everybody, we're on the next step of the center console. Everything is, I welded it together. Didn't bore you with that step, but I'll show you what I did. And then I made a couple areas for wires to go through. You have to always remember to do that. So here it is. So it's the exact same shape as we started off. I tack welded it all the way along, about once every 2 inches. Just hold everything in place. The rivets were to dry fit it. Once you found out that it fit perfect, you can get rid of the rivets if you want, but we're going to put a foam pad over the top of it so you won't even see it. Then up top, we have the wire harness that's going to go through here. Make it bigger than what you need so the wires aren't rubbing on that. And then we're going to take and put a coating over the top of that so the wires won't get cut by it. It's not sharp. Make sure you take and file it down. But you have the wires in because the computer's underneath here. And then you have the wires out for the stereo system going, and all the wires going to the back of the truck. So then you're going to have the 2 cup holders here. We're going to put a plug in here for his iPhone or Android, it'll hook right up to his radio. So there'll be 2 ports. One will be to the radio and one will be a charging port. So then on the side, last step is to make the sides left and right. And you always have to make an area. You're going to put an L bracket down here so you can attach it to the truck. And on the front, because it's the firewall, you can't really attach it with a bracket. So we'll figure that out. But if you do, you're going to have a bolt going through your firewall, and we don't want that. We want to keep it looking clean. Anyway, there you go. Second step in the center console complete.
You made a hole.
Made a hole. It was a beeping hole. 10-minute hole. Half hour later, I have a hole.
He's okay
This
now,
hole
though.
Sucked.
He's okay now, though.
Huh?
You're okay now, though.
I'm not okay. I need a drink. All right. We're on to the sides of the center console. So basically what you want to do is set it down, trace out the one side, that we have. Then take your cardboard template, put it on the other side, and trace that out. Now, I changed the height by 1/4 inch, so that means I'm going to lose 1/4 inch off here. But the angles are going to stay the same for the front of the firewall and following the transmission tunnel. So that should be the side of our center console. Make one, make sure it fits, then that we can copy identically, and that will be the other side. It's as simple as that. Okay, we have everything marked. Just gonna cut it out. In theory, this should be a side of our console. It'll go just like that. There you go. So I made the side, I tacked it in 4 places just to hold it in place, and then we brought it into the cab. And all you want it to do is follow the floor, the top, that's all up to your imagination. It just has to follow this. Now it doesn't have to be perfect because the carpet is going to go actually underneath this. So this whole thing will have carpet underneath it. This will sit on top of it. So the fuzz from the carpet is going to cover a 1/16 or an 1/8. So if you have a gap that's a 1/16, don't worry about it. The carpet's going to take care of that. But this is what we're looking for. Just a nice smooth look. Now I have to make the other side, which will be identical to this side, except I cut this off, thinking I needed to move everything forward to get this set back. It's right where I want it to be, so I'll have to add that back on instead of remove it next time. Anyway, long and short, this is what we need. It's in. Cup holders, real sleek look. Gonna like it. And there you go. Center console, step 45,632, and it's finally in.
So you guys decided to totally change it up, huh?
Yeah, because he was originally wanting it to do something like this, but then the bolt was too short. So we had to do it like this now.
So now you're making it so both sides are removable to get at.
Yep. So yeah, it'd be easier
At
to
the
get,
components that are underneath it.
It'd be easier for getting in there. Probably figure some way to mount it from the inside out. So it would be a cleaner look, I think.
Right.
Hey everybody, Chris with Legendary Customs coming to you from RAGZ in Onalaska, Wisconsin. Matt is getting ready to cover this, and I thought I would do an overall view of how we built this. Long and short, you watched me build the right side. Well, do the other side the exact same way you did the right side. You can make them any shape that you want. The only thing you have to worry about is following your firewall and your transmission tunnel. The top, you can make that shape whatever you feel comfortable with making. It can be wild, it can be mild. What we did is we made the skeleton. I changed my mind. I was going to weld on the sides. And what I changed my mind is I made them so they would bolt on instead. So we put nut zerts. We added some material and added nut zerts so we can bolt them on. The reason that we decided to do that is because underneath here is where the computer is for the engine. Well, with the computer under there, you might need to have access to it. And instead of taking the entire center console out, which would mean taking the seat out, we decided to make the sides bolt on. Okay? So that's what it's going to look like. The cup holders, cut them out, fit right in there. The only thing you have to pay attention to with cup holders is what's underneath them. We have clearance for the computer, so whatever you're going to put underneath, make sure that you have enough room to put these in. You don't want them sitting like this because it's hitting something underneath. And then here is where the USB port is going to be. That's going to control the radio, play your music over it, and charge your phone. And we also made a change. The speakers are going to go here versus in the kick panel. In the kick panel, it's a little bit cramped for when you're driving and such because there isn't a pocket to hide the speaker into. So the speaker would have to come out into the foot area space, literally about 3.5 to 4.5 inches. And instead of eating up that valuable real estate, we're just going to put them one on the right side, one on the left side. So that's your finished product right there, prior to being wrapped in the red, the same as the interior. So I hope that helps everybody. Again, do one side whatever shape you want. match the second side to that, do your top covering, and then make your sides. It's really that simple. And then cover it in vinyl or leather or whatever material that you choose. It's that simple. The only thing that's holding you from making a center console is your imagination. You can make it as crazy as you want. You can make it as simple as you want. This one is nice and flowing. Doesn't take up too much space inside the cab. And still gives you a nice functional area. Anyway, I hope that helps bring everything into a conclusion of how to build a center console. Chris with Legendary Customs, coming to you from Matt's over at RAGZ in Onalaska, Wisconsin. He's going to cover this next, and then we hope to bring you a final of this with it covered. All right, appreciate everything. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, and please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Appreciate you all. Join in for the next episode. Out.